Okay, so to access the COVID-19 DBQ, you're going to want to come into your Canvas dashboard and go into Commons. And then if you do a quick search for just COVID-19 DBQ, it should show up, or DBQ COVID-19, it doesn't really matter, either one. And then as you open it up, you're going to go over here and click Import Download, and then select which room you want to move it to or what course you want to move it to. And then you're going to have to give it a minute or two because it is a lot of documents, and it will upload for you. One thing to keep in mind as you go through and maybe potentially personalize this is it will show up in your module section because it is a full entire module with this many documents, that if you decide to delete things, just know that those will still stay. Even if you delete them within the module section, they will still stay as a page example in the pages section, or a discussion thread in the discussion thread. Like, all of those things are still there even if you delete them from the module itself. So you kind of have to double delete if you don't want to get confused or you want to limit the amount of pages that you actually have in your course. So just keep that in mind. But if I jump into the course where I built this, I'll kind of walk you through some of the things that you will see, because that was just how to download it. So I'm going to jump into my modules, and you'll see that it's built pretty linear. It's not indented too much in the different concepts. You've got 3 different actual assignments down here, which we'll go into, but otherwise the majority of the information is all built within pages. So it's very similar to the original Google Doc, where it has a title page, you've got your forward and back buttons, and after you get to the majority of the pages will also have this navigation bar here that will take you to the table of contents, or basically where all of the information is stored. So I definitely think you need to make sure you give direct instructions to your students on using those navigational tools, because honestly, most of the time they just don't use those forward and back buttons. So the organization of this is just simply that we put all of the documents into a couple of different subcategories. So social media, photo and infographics, podcasts and videos, websites, maps and data, and articles. Some of them are listed in multiple locations. And then we also went through and kind of identified the difficulty level based on length and the style and how much time or energy or effort it would take to actually kind of analyze and process the information. So it goes from mild being easiest all the way to extra. And basically, again, you can go in and personalize this to your heart's content, but I was basically saying pick 2 to 3 documents at varying levels, challenge yourself if at all possible so that you're not picking all of the same category. For the most part, most of the documents are within the mild and medium category, so just know that ahead of time. And then down here in the weekly planner directions, it says, go ahead and read 2 to 3 documents per week. First week is just researching, reading, looking at lots of different documents. Second week is asking students to participate in the discussion thread. Third week is asking students to choose from a choice board on doing a creative assignment. And then the fourth week would be putting all of their research and information together into an analytical essay, but in an Adobe Spark page. So it kind of forces them to do maybe a transmedia product, which is a little bit more involved and hopefully fun than just doing a 5-paragraph essay. We've also given them some examples on different ways to take their notes, if it's paper pencil, or additionally, we also gave you access to force a copy to a digital note-taking slide deck. So it'd force a copy for students. This is what it looks like. You've got opening pages, and then you've got a table of contents that links them to the different weeks. If they are taking it digitally, then it's just a very, very basic take notes here kind of a thing. This lends itself really nicely to some of the documents because it does ask the students to take screenshots of images from the documents that they might like. And then off to the side, they've also got additional sticky notes that they can add in. And we've just given them spots to do potentially 3 3 per week. If they wanted to do more than 3 documents, they definitely could. You just need to make a duplicate copy of that. Additionally, at the end, we also gave them access to a few other options. So there's a sticky note template, there's a T-chart template, there's some different things that they could use to highlight certain stuff, as well as labeling images, a place to do a caption, a place to do comic strips, a place to create maybe an interactive poster, and then also a sticky note brainstorming page. So any one of those potentially could be an additional assignment as a part of the DBQ as well. So just pay attention that those are on there. And again, you could make copies of this and change out anything that you would want, and then just change, in the end, you would just change this link here for students. So jumping in, let's say I decide I want to take a look at the options under photos and infographics. These are all hyperlinked into those pages. So they would just click on this and then see the different spiciness level of the artifact or document. And then once they open that up, it shows them the content. And then some might have them link out to see more. And then the directions are nice and big and easy for them to see. But like, for instance, this one is just to look through this photo library and then answer one of the following questions within their notes. So I would take this to go back to my main page and to find another document within another category for me to look at. Now remember, if it's looking at week 1, 2, 3, or 4, you have these other options here. So week 2 is asking them to participate in a discussion thread. So I'll click on the discussion thread and just show you here. I'm really explicit in my instructions for discussion threads because I just simply don't want it to be a writing prompt. I'd like them to interact with one another. So you'll notice that it says, include a picture that shows what you're thinking. And then after you submit, come back in a week and like different peer responses. And then also write back to at least one of your peers. So again, it's not just a writing prompt where it's just me and the student looking at it. It's actually interactive with their peers. So going back, we'll take a quick look at the week 3 example or assignment. So the creative assignment asks them to take a look at a choice board. So the choice board has 7 actual assignments, from an oral history interview to doing a vlog of their daily COVID experience, during sheltering in place is what I mean. And then writing a diary entry, interactive digital timeline, creating a Pinterest board, creating a soundtrack on Spotify with corresponding explanations for the 10 songs that they pick, creating a comic strip, or tweeting their story with a specific amount of tweets. And then the 8th option is just, do you have another idea? Pitch it to me and I'll probably accept it. Now, I also wanted to make sure to point out that I did in fact give you a rubric, and if you haven't played around with rubrics in Canvas, it does make grading super nice and easy, and I've tested it. It does come through on the import, so you will have this rubric available to you as you import it into your courses. Okay, and then the last and final example assignment, and again, you can take out some of these assignments. You don't have to use all of them. It does make for a lot of content, though, in the end. So the analysis assignment, again, asks them to put together basically an essay, but we're using Adobe Spark Page as their kind of turn-in assignment. You'll notice I've embedded the Adobe Spark Page here, a template that they just would press here and say, make a copy. I've also given them an additional example of another student page where they've used, done an argumentative essay on a different topic, but used an Adobe Spark Page. And then I've also instituted like office hours, and this is all made up. It's not a real example Zoom link, password, whatever, but basically you're seeing what my ideas are. And I've also given them additional videos on how to write an argumentative essay that they can pick and choose what they want to watch if they feel like they need additional help. So the Adobe Spark template is super, super simple. You'll notice right away that it says you can now send this straight to Canvas. So as they finish, they can click the button right here and turn it into Canvas. So just like letting them know that that's there. But when I start editing within an Adobe Spark page, as long as I look for my plus sign, then I can add more content and information. So when I introduce Adobe Spark stuff to students, it usually takes less than 5 minutes and then they're off and running. So just remind them, look for the plus sign and add your content there. So I went ahead and added these pieces, but I would want them to delete those. But you'll see here that they have access to add in buttons and videos and additional images to make it a really nice interactive transmedia document. So that is the final assignment attached to this DBQ. Please let us know if you have any other questions, and I'd love to see this if you're using this with students and some of their final products. Thanks.